$2,470. Up. Good girl. Okay, puppy. Let us talk. Are you thinking of buying or adopting a dog this year and you're trying to be responsible and figure out how much it's gonna cost you? And maybe you're thinking, I just need food, leash, bed, and those cost what? $200, $300 per year? Well, I'm here to tell you that you're probably gonna spend much, much more. If this is your first time joining us, I'm Raquel, and this is Minky, my adopted 5-year-old pit bull who I've had for about 6 months now, and let's get straight into it. The bigger ticket items in June were a bed from Walmart for $50. Another big expense was a $100 consultation with a dog trainer, and it was mostly just to have the dog trainer evaluate Minky and figure out, like, is she fixated on the cats because she's never lived with them before, or was it because like something more ominous and she wants to eat them, which would not be fun. So I figured the $100 expense of having the trainer evaluate her was worth it. I got her an $80 muzzle from Learburg because I wanted to make sure that during the process of socializing her to our cats, that I could make sure that the cats were always going to be safe no matter what happened. The muzzles available in our local pet stores didn't fit her properly and didn't allow for the proper panting space. And so that's why we ended up having to order one from online so that she could wear it for longer, such as up to an hour. It took about 3 months of actively socializing her with our cats and just keeping her on leash all the time whenever she was in the greater part of our house. And after that 3 months, we finally felt that she was socialized enough to the cats to be trusted off leash, and now she's great with them. And even with our kitten, who makes the 5th cat of our house, she is very good, knock on wood. So besides $180 spent on cat socialization efforts, $226 was spent on other items that could be considered essentials, such as beds, treats, kibble, wet food, ID, and her ID tag. So July, this is the month that I adopted Minky, and her adoption fee and the licensing fee had already been sponsored or covered by her foster mom and dad from before I ended up fostering her. And those costs would have been $100 for the adoption fee and then $25 for the licensing fee. Then after adopting her, I took her to our normal vet and used the free vet checkup coupon that comes with her adoption. And there she got, I think, 1 to 2 additional vaccinations. And then also I elected to do the heartworm test on her. And since I was and would continue to be bringing her around, I ended up buying a car seat protector and also a travel bed. I also signed her up for a 10-week dog obedience course in order to socialize her more to other dogs and to get her used to being chill around other also chill dogs. All right, so there were 3 classes in July, so that works out to around $33 per class. And this was my first introduction to dog obedience, and I'm thinking of having Minky compete later this year in dog obedience. All right, so for the hotel fees, that's because we took Minky on a weekend trip with us, and that was just like how much those hotels charged for having pets. In total, I spent $499 on Minky in July. All right, so August. This month is when we noticed that Minky had allergies, and this was because in the parts of her skin, like her chest and her belly, where she has white, or on her paw, look puppy, look, on this paw, we noticed that her skin was looking a little like pink and red. And at first we thought it was from food, so we ended up buying her new food that did not have chicken in it. But then when we were at the vet, he said it's most likely not food and is most likely environmental. I paid the $60 for the vet exam and another $150 for a cytopoint injection, which is an injection for allergies that lasts about 4 to 8 weeks. The price depends on the dosage, which depends on your dog's weight. The Simparica Trio is the heartworm, flea, and tick medicine, and this is a once per month. And I bought the 6-month supply from Chewy, and this works out to $25 per month. And in August, she had 5 obedience classes, which adds up to $170. So in total, $569 was spent on Minky in August. For September, this month was pretty simple, and Minky's expenses only totaled up to about $281. Wow, crazy, right? And anyways, so she finished the last 2 lessons of her obedience course and had her second dose of Simparica Trio and also another dose of the Cytopoint allergy medication. The Cytopoint is only $165 because it's $150 for the Cytopoint and then $15 for her office visit. September was still kind of pricey, but relatively simple on the expenses. In October, I got her some random things, including a Halloween costume. And one of the perks of the obedience course that we did take is that once you take a course with them, they host tune-ups for around an hour every 1 to 2 months. And it's basically a dog meetup where you get to practice your skills and your dog's obedience skills in a group with other calm dogs that have also gone through the course. And then this month's expenses were pretty cheap at $124. All right, so in November this month, I got her a lot of accessories. And besides her base expenses of Cytopoint, Simparica Trio, and her Purina Pro Plan kibble, which came out to $270, the other $200 were unnecessary optional expenses, including accessories from Roughwear that I used as Minky's Christmas gifts. It's pretty crazy that in this month, her base expenses totaled $270. So for the Cytopoint, Simparica Trio, heartworm, flea and tick medicine, and her Purina Pro Plan food, these are definitely like some of the more pricey options. However, when you do have your dog, it can be pretty hard to not spend on these items and these services when you know that they will benefit your puppy. December was a pretty chill month, definitely the cheapest at $45 for her Simparica Trio and treats. The $45 doesn't include food because we have a stockpile of that from the previous months. Because it had been rainy, her allergies just weren't making themselves noticeable, so she didn't need her Cytopoint injection this month. Also, I think spending finally plateaued with her because I had gathered enough food, treats, and supplies that I frequently use with her, so it wasn't like I was finding gaps in areas where it would be useful to have some item or tool. So in total, my puppy right here has costed me $2,470 in the first 6 months of having her. All right, so over the first 6 months of having Minky, the main spending categories include training, trainer consult, and training supplies at $615, allergies treatment at $539, various accessories at $364, food at $330, travel at $198, and then treats and toys at $177. Also a remaining amount of miscellaneous expenses. So in this video, we've shared how I've spent on Minky in the last 6 months, the various different ways that you will also probably be tempted to spend on your dog that extends beyond just food, bed, and leash. I hope that this video is helpful to see the many different avenues that we are tempted to and do spend on our furry little friends, and that we can see that it really does add up over time. Seeing the sum of these numbers is like pretty insane to me, and I would have never believed, like if someone just gave me that number, I would have said no, that's impossible. But now that I see it in front of me, like obviously I have. It's been really interesting to track the expenses of my little ride or die here, and I hope that you find it helpful. All right, thanks for watching.